What's up, guys? Welcome back to Sharpen Your Sword podcast. Today we are on episode 44 roundtable, and I have the number one co-host in the world, Giovanni Jimenez.
Hey.
What's up, Gio? And I got my good friend Ben Nguyen, guys. He's been on the show multiple times.
What's up, guys?
How you doing, Benny?
Good.
Ben is feeling himself today. He got a haircut.
I look clean.
You got a bald spot. Turn around for a second.
Where?
Turn. You see that bald spot?
Where? Right here?
You balding, bro.
I ain't balding.
Yeah, you are.
It's your barber effing me up.
If my barber was good, you wouldn't go to him.
Shit, I didn't know he was messing me up.
Yeah, he ain't messing you up. You got a bald head.
Shoot. They just increased the price too, bro. They tripping, bro. Haircut nowadays is expensive.
How much you paid for it?
$30, bro.
This-
30?
$30, but you ain't getting chopped like that.
Bro, I don't care about the quality. I mean,
know,
a little
You
bit.
need to. It's your presentation.
I know a Guatemalan.
Nah.
$20.
I'm more a performance guy, right? It's like I'm in a mode where I'm all about performance, hair is just getting away, and it's expensive. I'm not trying to spend $100 like these most of these people on a haircut.
Yeah, but you said about performance. So if you look good, you feel good, you play good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Dope. If I have a choice, I'll shave my head.
You do have a choice, save it.
I do, but other people have opinion.
Oh, okay. I mean, their price did go up, but
Was it 30 for you too, or you got that special?
nah, I don't get the special.
You probably get your beard done too, huh?
Yeah, they trim my beard too, but their prices did go up. But God bless them. Like, I remember this guy when he was in a room when he was in somebody's barber. He's been cutting my hair for like 10 years, over 10 years.
Really?
He's been cutting my hair over 10 years, And it's funny because of jiu-jitsu, I look at everybody as like rank. So I rank people, like I rank businesses and I rank people. And so he's a black belt barber. Do you agree?
The guy cut your hair?
Yeah.
I agree.
He's a black belt barber. And so a lot of people actually that I know go get chopped by them because of how good they get their hair.
Really?
Probably 20 people from the academy go. 10, 20 people.
Really?
Yeah.
So you getting them good referrals then?
Yeah. So I actually send referrals. Somebody needs to send us referrals. You know what I mean? But that's the only way. That's the only way to help the business.
Who's the other two? Is that his family members or just people?
So the one all the way by the wall, he's the one that originally started cutting my hair. He's the one that started the barbershop. Hassan. It's Barber Lounge, Highway 64, guys. Best barbers, best beard trim, best shave, anything that you want, best ones you'll get over there. I guarantee it. Okay. He started in the back of somebody's barbershop a long time ago. He's the one that started chopping my hair. When he moved out, he opened his own barbershop on Highway 64. And I remember because I was talking to him and I was like, man, again, like I always talk about business. And I was talking to him like, man, like what made you come out here? He's like, man, I just found this spot. And it's a small barber, guys. It's not huge. And I remember talking to him like, man, what made you come out here? Like, do you think it's going to work? And he said, man, all we can do is try. And God bless them now. If you go on a Saturday, you're going to be in there for hours.
Yeah, I remember I was in there like 30 minutes.
I remember I've sat in there a couple hours sometimes. And he used to be by himself in that barber, by himself. Now he has 2 other sheets filled with other barbers cutting. Hassan is the original one. Then Mo's the one that cuts my hair now.
You ever talk to him about expanding? Because sometimes you may lose customer because, the barber takes forever. And you lose money because, you're not taking them.
Yeah,
customers.
but with the barbers, they're going to see you as the barber.
That's true. So he built his
He got his
loyalty.
reputation and his loyalty
From his customers.
and usually when you have a barber, most people are loyal to the barber. You know what I'm saying? Wherever you go, you're loyal to your barber. And now he got a reputation.
I'll be cheating on my barber.
He got a reputation.
Barber.
He got a reputation. Now people are sitting and waiting for him. So now it's cool to see that he every sheet is filled. Like I went in there a few weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago, I went and got a haircut, and every sheet was filled. Literally every sheet was filled. And it was over 20 sheets, 30 sheets. So it's good to see that. Now you mentioned the price go up, but that's part of business. I mean, supply and demand, right?
Yeah.
Price goes up. I mean, I looked on the sign today and I was happy to see it. It went up to $30. You went up $5 on a haircut, $5 more, and he's probably gonna go up $5 more.
Yeah.
He has customers. Why not? He got to make a living. It's part of business. But you want good haircut, pay the money.
Yeah.
You know, otherwise go to the salon.
Yeah.
But they all the
You gotta
same.
go to a Latino
bro.
salon.
If I could find a freaking cheaper one, I would.
I'm telling you, I know a $20 Guatemalan that'll do it fast.
But is it good?
It's good. It's good.
You can do a fade.
What rank?
You can fade it.
It ain't gonna be black belt fade, bro.
They get the job
You can
done.
tell with the haircut, with the man's haircut, you can tell. I look at these guys and I'm like, bro, you got
Why you look at me, cut?
you got a blue belt haircut. No, I mean honestly, the truth is, I don't think that you should be obsessed with for a man. I don't think you should be obsessed with the way your hair is, but I do think you need a decent haircut, right?
Well, you need to be presentable.
You need to be presentable. Especially if you're a businessman or you're an entrepreneur or in a professional career, and you need to be presentable.
Well, you don't even have to be in those things. You just have to be hygienic.
Yeah.
And be good. Like, take care of yourself. Take care of your body.
Yeah.
You know what would kill me? Maybe like these YouTube channels that teach men how to like have hygiene and dress. I'm like, you need help to do that, bro? Like, but Jen.
I think these days you do.
Well, sometimes parents don't teach them like that. You know what I mean? Like, I guess my mom don't really, or my dad come in like, hey, go brush your teeth. Like how American families are. We just do it just to do it. They tell us one time and we did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's common sense. Like, yo, Fudgin need to look nice, look presentable, look good. I think as a young man, like, well, it was always like a race between me and the other kids. Like, oh, who gonna get a girlfriend, right? Who gotta look good for the little girl? But so that's how I started.
Who won?
Fudgin, it wasn't me. I was in the church praying. But that's where that started from, right? And then it was like, okay, I just gotta look good always. So
Yeah.
I've been actually getting into cologne lately.
Oh, you told me about that.
I was like, dang, I actually want to kind of like create some sort of scent. You know, when people walk, even men, just walk by, I'm like, dang, this man smells good. But a good smelling cologne, good smelling cologne is like hundreds of dollars. So I might drop $3 I mean, not $3 but $300 just to buy a good cologne.
I'd be good. I started putting on like massage oil, like lavender oil, just so you can mix in my own scent and they smell. You use olive oil, right? You said people, use olive oil.
I use olive oil.
He used incense, bro.
I don't use incense. I use the oil, like a scented oil. I don't know what it's called, honestly. But I use olive oil. I think the good thing about olive oil is like it hydrates your skin. I think because I shower so much, talk about hygiene, right? Because I train and work out, I shower so much, my skin turns dry. My beard turns dry, Or if you have a beard, men that have beard, that you get dry skin under it. So if you don't, under your beard, so if you don't have like a facial scrub or something like that, then it gets super dry. Mm-hmm. So I use olive oil. Because apparently them creams are not good. Facial creams, that's where people are getting cancer. So I quit using all these creams. I just use olive oil now. It's crazy. It works.
I think nowadays they're trying to make you, they everything give cancer. Now this is a crazy thing. Do you think they want you to have cancer?
Gio just jumping in now.
You know what's crazy though?
Yes, I do.
You know what's crazy? I just stumbled upon this reel on Instagram. They were talking about this two Indian, I think. I don't know. I'm just assuming they're Indian because of their accent. But they were talking about how doctors, like women who work out 3 to 4 times a week, will be 30 to 40% less likely to get breast cancer. And their doctors don't tell them about that.
Why is the doctor going to tell you when they make more money when you come
That's
back?
what I'm saying. So it's like saying like, hey, I want you to get sick. Like it's like saying that the doctors want you to not be healthy, so they can make money.
You know what my biggest problem is, man?
There's no profit in there.
There's no profit in that. My biggest problem is how. Let me start by saying this first, so I don't get called out. I believe, arguably, the United States of America is the #1 country in the world. Okay, I honestly God believe that. And you might ask why, okay? I'm from Palestine. My parents are from Palestine, okay? So everybody has it worse. I've said this in podcasts before. Everybody has it worse one way or another. Somebody may look at us in Palestine and say, man, I have it worse than you. I'm in Africa with no water, no food. At least I can get water and food. Is it hard sometimes? Yeah, but at least I can get it, right? Are we in an oppressed country? Yes, in Palestine, right? It's occupied by the military, Israeli military, right? But coming from a different perspective, growing up a certain way, when you have certain things like you do in this country, the United States, right? Opportunity. There's opportunity. There's a lot of freedom, right? Now, we can go down this rabbit hole about how much freedom do we really have, right? Which we probably will later on. But at the end of the day, this is the biggest capitalist country in the universe. There is no stronger capitalism. There's no stronger capitalist country besides the United States of America. So if that's the case, what is their goal?
To make profit.
To make profit, okay? And this is where I get into it with some people. We do live in the greatest country for opportunity. We do still have opportunities and freedoms and stuff that you won't have in other places. But at the end of the day, I do 100% believe that they are picking wealth and profit over the people. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people don't truly want to accept this fact. And to me, it's a fact, right? If you look at it and you do 1 + 1, it's always 2. Okay, 1 + 1 is always 2. What's going on is 1 + 1. Okay, and I think people don't want to vocalize it because it is their country. It is our country. We shouldn't say that about our country. No way our country wants bad for us. Okay, and so you can go down any rabbit hole that you want, and just start with like the rise of cancer is increasing. I know so many people that died from cancer in the last few years at a young age, okay? At a young age. And now they're saying cancer is going to start in your 20s, like colon cancer. It used to be later on. Now it's coming down to below 30. That's going to be one of the leading causes of death. It's going to be colon cancer for people in their 30s, okay? So
it's like bug cancer, right?
What is it called?
No, it's your colon.
Testicle.
You know?
Oh, no.
Oh.
The colon, it's inside of you. And so you look at all these things, okay? You talk about vaccines, okay? Whether you're anti-vaxxer or you're not, okay? They push vaccines, and who's they? Okay, let's think about who they is, okay? It's the government, but we love our government. Our government wants the best for us, okay? But they're pushing vaccines, okay? The food. Yes, we know the companies are the ones selling it, but who's allowing it? At the end of the day, the government.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Big pharma, the medicine, a lot of these medicines, a lot of these depression medicines, they make it worse on you. Who's allowing it? Okay, there's a lot of rules and regulation that have to get passed through the government. Okay? Buying farmland. Why is the farmland getting bought out? Okay, there's a lot of conspiracies we can talk about. Why is the farmland getting bought out? Because people realize, let's grow our own food. Let's live off our own land. Let's create our own society, our own is sustenance the correct word? Our own sustainability, sustain our own selves and families, growing true organic homegrown food, no pesticides. Mm-hmm. How much cancer is caused from the pesticides that are sprayed on the food that the government knows about? The steroids and the chemicals going into the meat that the government knows about. Okay? The plants and all these, the plastics, the microplastics. The government knows about all this. But what is all this causing? This is causing health issues. This is causing cancer. Okay? So they need that to generate money. So the government knows about this. If the government truly wanted the best for its people, it would take all this out and not just talk about it. You know, and I know Trump's offices, they have Kennedy in there talking about it, but let's see how much he really does. The truth is, okay, they all talk about it. Let's see how much you really do, you know? And so I think at the end of the day, yeah, it's for profit. So I think they do want you to fall down that trap.
100%. You know, cancer treatment generates it's a billions and billions of dollar industry, if not trillions of dollars. I remember this one time, this one lady, where I used to work, her mom had cancer, and she asked me, she was like, "Jill, do you think they have a cure for cancer?" I'm like, "I don't know if they have a cure for cancer, but if they did, and if they were hiding it, I wouldn't be surprised because there's too much money to be made in that." I remember I saw this meme where it was like when this one guy's on the phone, he's like, "I just found the cure for cancer," and you're on the plane with them, so you know the plane is gonna go down. But I mean, they do want to keep you sick. But this is the thing, though. Do you think capitalism encourages greed?
This is a tough thing to say. Me and you always talk about this.
You don't think socialism is greed?
We're talking about capitalism right now.
Here's the thing with capitalism. Me and you have this talk plenty of times. And in some cases, you are against capitalism, correct?
I'm against the exploitation of people.
And I agree, me too. I think when you start getting involved with money, right? With making money, and you start making it, right? It either reveals you who you really are, okay? It makes you better or it makes you worse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you are greedy, if you have a sense of greed inside of you, then I think when you have capitalism, it does make you more greedy. Okay? Now, it could also do it to the person that's not greedy, because as humans, what is capitalism? Making money.
Mm-hmm.
When you make money, what happens?
You want to make more money.
You want to make more money. You get high, right? Like the rush. Making money is fun, right? Now, not everybody thinks this way. Capitalists think this way, and they feel this way. You make money, it's a chase. The chase is fun. Making the money gets you high. That's your buzz. That's your excitement, okay? So you want more. You always want more, right? I was talking to one of my buddies, and he told me, he said, "What is your goal?" And I told him one of my goals. And he said, "Okay, when you achieve that goal, what do you think is going to happen? You're going to make a bigger goal, right?" And I said, "Yes, that is right." Now, I don't think greed is bad.
What?
Necessarily. Listen. I'm going to clarify.
Yeah.
I don't think greed is necessarily bad. I think it's how you use that greed that you have. Okay? I might be greedy. I want money, for example. Let's just say I want a lot of money, for example. I'm greedy making money. But do I use it for the bad? Okay?
You're basically saying it's depending on your intent.
Your intent with it. So there's nothing wrong with being greedy if you're going to use it for the good. Okay? Now, most people don't use it for the good. A lot of people, big corporations, like I say, they exploit people and stuff like that. I get it. I understand it. I'm not necessarily for the rich to get richer and to keep the poor poorer.
I mean, you bash on a lot of a big corporation where they create jobs as well. One example is like Amazon. You know what I mean? So are they really bad about that?
No, but you have to walk the fine line, and you have to decide what's bad or what's good. You know what I'm saying? Now, I think when you start abusing employees, you start forcing them to work, which this is talked about, making them work certain hours or you're gone, right? You're fired. Hey, you're going to work 70 hours this week, okay? Or you're gone, okay? I think when you start putting extreme stipulations, and here's the thing. For me, I don't think that's extreme stipulation. For me, personally. But for the norm, that's going to be extreme stipulation. If I wanted to work 70, 80 hours a week, and I have a family, but I choose to do so, that's fine. I chose to do so. But if I make you work 80 hours a week and you have a family, like, "Hey, Mo, like, I want to be with my wife and kids." No, bro, if you want to work, you gotta work 70, 80 hours a week. Now, that's effed up because I want employee working his butt off to make more money.
Yeah.
Okay, so, yes, you have to walk the fine line. Here's it. You're talking to an entrepreneur. So I am for businesses succeeding. I want businesses to succeed because I want mine to succeed. Now, it's what you do with it. Yes, the businesses have created thousands of jobs. Amazon has created thousands, if not millions of jobs, right? But doesn't mean everything they do is ethical.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's right. Doesn't mean it's correct. It doesn't mean it's right. You know what I mean? So going back to your question, I'm not trying to go down this big rabbit hole because this can open up into a whole nother can of butt whooping like Ben is trying to go into, is greed is not necessarily bad if you use it for the good.
Yeah.
I want to make more money because I want to help more people. Now, how many people think that way?
Yeah.
Truth. That's what you got to come down to. You know, if you think that way, I don't think greed is bad. But I think if you're greedy because you want to, you know, for us and as Muslims, we're not here for this life. You know, we're here for the afterlife.
Yeah.
What we get in the afterlife is way better than this life. Don't let the materialistic things of this life sway you or attract you or get you to go the wrong route. And don't fall in love too much with these things.
So why you need money to do that?
I don't need money for that. Like for me, like, do I want nice things? Yes, I want nice things. But for me, like, I need money to help more people. You can help people to a certain extent without money. But also, if you want to go feed the people in Africa, what do you need?
You need money.
If you want to feed the people here, if you want to donate to a charity event here, if you want to help, you know, kids buy school supplies, the ones that have a hard time buying school supplies, what do you need? You need money.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like people ask me that question, I'm like, damn, bro, like, you're money hungry. It's like, I'm money hungry, but you don't know why I'm money hungry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that, if you, with that logic, then you wouldn't be rich then, no? Because most of the time.
But rich doesn't mean wealth necessarily.
Okay, sure. Let's say you have a lot of money, but you give away a lot of your money away because, you know, you make money to give it away.
To me, that makes me not wealthy financially, but I think it makes me rich. Right? Because rich to you is what? People, when they hear rich, and this is like something I learned a few years ago, is rich and wealthy for me is two different things now.
Which one is more valuable?
I think rich is more valuable. Wealthy was more valuable to me. When I was young, there ain't nothing. I only saw dollar bills. That was it. It was wealth. Now, I believe you need wealth. Don't get me wrong.
So your definition of wealth is like more monetary wise.
Monetary. Like, I have assets. I'm multi-million-dollar assets. I have multi-million-dollar cash. That's wealth. Okay? That's the way I look at it. But rich might be, I make 10 million and I give 9.9 million away to charities because that's what makes me happy. For me, that can be rich. Yeah, I gave away all the money. But for me, that's rich. I'm doing something that I love, I truly want. Rich for me is building the dream that I want for myself, for my family. So we don't have to have millions of dollars. But if I can achieve the things that I wanted, I'm rich.
So a purpose-driven life to you means you're rich.
Yes. You know?
Yeah.
Now, I do think wealth has something to be in it. Plays a part in it. People want to live a rich life with ignoring the wealth part. And they want to say, well, I don't need money. My family doesn't need money. My family's happy the way it is. And God bless you if you are. But are you truly are? Mm-hmm. Are you truly rich, happy? A lot of people say it because they can't achieve it. They settle. So deep down inside, there is resentment. There is, I wish I had this and I wish I had that. That's why I said you need money, right? But at the stage that I'm at now, I'm not chasing the wealth necessarily. I'm chasing my purpose.
Yeah.
And achieving my purpose is rich to me.
Yeah. Now, would you say that us in American society, do you think we value money? What do you guys? Do you think American society values money too much? Because honestly, if you compare, I saw this one video, these two girls, right? There's probably this one girl's boyfriend was making $20K a year. God bless him. I don't know when this video was shot. So he was making like $20K a year, right? And this one girl was like, she was making fun of her. She was like, oh my God, you need to dump him. He need to make $200K. If you're not making $200K, then he can't buy you everything. And the other girl was saying, no, I value him because he works hard. And I value hard work. She was like, obviously he's not working hard because he's not making much money, right? And I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Justifying.
So do you think American society values money too much? Do you think money is too much involved in people's minds and their consideration of success?
I think now we have two, is what I'm seeing. We have two sides. We have the side that says, you don't need all that money, or you don't need money. I don't have to work as hard for that money. Why do I need that much money? And then we have the side that's driven. We can call them gold diggers, okay? If you're going to talk about it in that aspect, maybe gold diggers, not all of them, okay? And we have that in that same pot is the people that believe they need money or they should have money to achieve certain things. Mm-hmm. Now, we live in a country where you have to have money to survive. You have to. Now, props to that girl. You brought this up on the podcast. Same story, I think, before. Now, props to that girl for saying, hey, he's a hardworking man, and she's happy. Like, that's very rare to see. I believe if you are married, whether you live in a box or you live in a mansion, you live here or you live there, wherever you are, it doesn't matter. I believe that shouldn't dictate, your wealth shouldn't dictate it if you truly love yourself. Does that make sense?
You're not I wouldn't use wealth, but your character, you mean?
No, like she shouldn't love him because of his money. So whether he lived in a box, she truly loves this guy. If he lives in a box, she loves him. If he lives in a mansion, she loves him.
Well, I mean,
he makes $20K a year or he makes $2 million a year.
Would you date somebody who lives in a box? So
what do you want your daughter?
So when I
hypothetical fake daughter.
So I'm asking. Let me ask. Let me put it in this perspective. No, my daughter ain't dating no married. I'm not gonna say date. She ain't married no bum. Okay. Now this is different. This is what I'm gonna clarify. If you're married, I'm not gonna put my daughter in this thing. Okay. But if you're married and you're making it, or you're living a good life, and then all of a sudden it goes south. Okay. And this is just me. This isn't me. Maybe you are different. And you live in a box. Okay? Should your wife just stay with you? Or should she just leave you, break up with you?
Well, if you put in that situation, then no, she shouldn't.
She shouldn't stay with you?
She should stay with you.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. What I was trying to bring up was like, I use like, if, for example, if I'm looking for a girlfriend, she's living in a box, that would indicate me, okay, she's not doing anything valuable. Right? Yeah, she's not doing anything valuable, so like, why would I want, like, if she's not going out there to make it work? Maybe I don't know the story, but it's a great indicator of like, what was that? First impression.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If my first impression with you, right? First meeting you, oh, you're an entrepreneur, you're doing really well. That means that you have a strong set of core values and principles and ethics and habits that set you up for success. Now, if you're the opposite of that, like for example, your appearance, if you're a slob and everything, it would tell me about your character, if that makes sense. So that's where I'm going with if you're living in a box. Okay, what are you doing when you live in a box? Well, are you not being active to live? Because if I were like broke, I'm able to survive without living in a box. I will find some type of work. There's ways to do it in America. Some people just don't choose not to do it because they don't want to cook. They don't want to flip patties at McDonald's. Well, you have no choice. You're in no position to negotiate how you dictate how you want to live your life, right? You're in no position to do it. You have no buying power. So how are you able to do that? You gotta work and do the things that you don't want to do first, and buy the buying power in your life to be able to negotiate what you want to do in your job field.
I mean, it's been on fire.
I'm just saying, right? If that makes sense.
No, it makes sense, and I don't mean like all the way to the box thing, right?
What I'm just.
But like I'm saying, like okay, you have two people: the one that are driven by the money, and you have to have the money, and people now are just complacent.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we don't need money. My husband doesn't have to have money. And his goofy ass is thinking the same thing. Like, oh, I don't have to have a lot of money.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. You don't have to be wealthy. You don't have to. But I do think you need X amount of dollars to live. And I do, this is me. I don't think it's fair for you. This is as men, guys. This is me as, I'm talking from a man's perspective. And this is my 2 cents. This is not about gender equality. This is not about sexist or whatnot. I believe the old way. The man runs the house. The man provides for the family. This is just simple, clean cut for me. Okay? There is no blending the waters for me. Okay? So I'm talking about a man's job. I don't think it's fair for the wife if the man is a piece of crap and lazy. Okay? So just because she's okay with it doesn't mean you shouldn't get better. So I see a lot from the younger generation. It's like, oh, I don't need a giant house. I don't need this brand new car. Like, I can just get by. We can just get by with this. But why do you want to get by? This is just my 2 cents. I don't know the mentality of just getting by. Okay, so this is why I have a problem with this side of the table, because they just want to get by. And so you have this side of the table that just wants to get by and just live the bare minimum. And the truth is, they're not even happy. Is she still with you? Yeah. But can you guys do the things? Can you fulfill her dreams? If she wants to friggin' go to friggin' whatever, the red oak trees, whatever they call them, redwoods, the big old trees, just for vacation.
Yeah.
She may be somebody that loves nature. Like, you can't even take her there. For me, this is a problem. For me to not be able to pay for my kid's baseball game, right? His baseball fees, whatever, $2,000 in high school, whatever it is, middle school these days, right? If I can't put my kid in baseball, I'm doing injustice to my family. So I think this is a problem.
Yeah.
Okay? Now you have the other side of the spectrum where they look for, because girls, ladies, females, this is like a survival instinct, by the way. I've heard people tell them, like, their parents tell them to do this, right? Is to look for, maybe not like look for a wealthy guy necessarily. Like, hey, go look for a rich guy. Like, I'm not saying like go be a gold digger. I'm not saying that, but it is part of their, and it's not all of them. Somebody's like, well, that's not me. I'm independent, right? But I'm saying this is part of their like survival tactic or instinct, whatever you want to call it, is to see a guy like, okay, this guy is well put together. Like, he may be an option. Okay? Like, he's a good candidate. He has a good job. He has his self put together. He's not some kid that doesn't have a job, or doesn't have any past experience, doesn't have a resume of life.
Yeah.
Okay? And then you got the other side of the spectrum where all they want is just money.
Yeah.
Where they just hungry. They're gold diggers. They want the money. Especially the young folks. Because all they want to do is go out to eat. All they want to go out to do is go to the bar. Or they just want nice stuff, him spending money on nice stuff, buying her stuff. But I think the best way, well, to answer your question, yeah, I think it is driven by money, right? But I think you need to find the median.
Yeah. I found this morning, I was listening to this guy, I was in the shower listening to motivation, right? He was like, some of you motherfuckers are asking me you can't get a woman, and you too worried about getting a girl. He was like, how about you fix yourself? How about you make more money? Like, how about you become the 1%er? He was like, you think you're going to be struggling to find a girl if you the 1%? They're going to be flocking to you, right? And that's the truth. Like, if you build yourself up, things will come to you, right? When you become that guy. I agree. And this thing, he was like, there's a thing about, that I liked, this dude said.
What's his name?
It's Wes Watson, right? Very controversial guy. People hate on the dude, but let me tell you something. You ain't never gonna find a hater doing better.
I already know who he's talking about. He's been telling me about this guy for a little bit now.
You ain't gonna find a hater doing better than you.
He old?
He's a bald dude living in Miami. He's all tatted up. Now, the way he goes about some things, I don't necessarily agree. Now, I think his wife, his girlfriend is a gold digger. Granted, we're talking about gold diggers. In Miami, gold digger, capital of the world. So, it's this. He was like, he said, everybody trying to ask me, like, what's the way to get there? And it was like, it ain't about how. It's about who. You like as we talked about the other day, right? Would you bet money that Elon Musk gonna make $1 million? And I'm like, yeah. Why would he do that? Because you know who he is, not how he's gonna go. It's like not about how you do it. It's about who you are. When you sharpen the sword, you know that your sharp swords will get you to your outcome, and not necessarily this intricate, detailed plan and step by step. And you gotta lick your finger 3 times and point at the moon, whatever, and you're gonna become rich or whatever, right? It's about who you become. That dude is gonna make it happen.
I agree. Where I'm at right now, I'm not so focused on like making the money now, working on businesses and stuff. I'm solely focused on bettering myself, and I believe that once I reach at a level where I am as a person, I feel like everything else will come into play. For granted, I'm not saying that I'm not working towards anything that will build me wealth in the future. However, my priority for me is making myself a better human being.
Yeah. So, Muhammad, you see work with many people throughout the years. Out of the people that you work with, like, who do you think goes farthest? The guys that have the method, right, or the guys that work on themselves, even though they might not have the talent, but they work on themselves. And okay, that guy, like the way he is, that he'll go far. And compared to guys that do have talent, but they don't have necessarily that strong work ethic.
It's like hard work versus talent.
So that's a good question. Yeah,
It is a cut.
That's a very good question. So this is what I'm going to say about that. So you're telling me there's one guy that has talent but doesn't work on himself.
Yeah.
And then you have the other guy that doesn't necessarily have the talent, but he's sharpening his sword. Correct? Yeah. So this is what I've coming down, like with Sharpen Your Sword, guys, this Sharpen Your Sword has changed my life completely. Like 360. Okay? And because of this, I went down this journey of trying to become better and becoming the best version of myself every day. Not just today, every day I have to do something, right? So I'm always pursuing the number one spot. I've talked about this on a few episodes ago. I'm always pursuing the number one spot. What does always pursuing the number one spot make you?
Sharp as crap.
So you have the two guys, one that's talented, does not necessarily work on himself every day, and the one that consistently works on himself every day, right? I think in the long run, the guy that works on himself every day is the one that's going to win. Okay? And, I know where I was. Because of Sharpen Your Sword, I work to be the number one spot. I always try to strive to achieve number one. I don't like to say I'm the number one guy, right? If I'm in a group of 10 guys, I'm not going to say necessarily I'm the number one guy out of these 10 guys, right? I want to say, okay, I'm going to put myself in a room with 10 guys, and I'm probably top 3, let's say. But I'm trying to get to number one. So it keeps me working to try to become better. And so the guy that's always trying to become number one, what is he doing?
He's always bettering himself.
He's always bettering himself. So he's always learning. He's always getting sharper. He's always picking up skills. He's always picking up techniques. He's always looking for the new thing that's going to help him become the number one guy.
And what's the number one downfall for any success? Complacency.
Complacency kills. Complacency kills. Okay? That's one of the most famous quotes. Complacency kills. Stagnant, when you become stagnant, you die. Okay? So the guy that's talented, guess what he's gonna have? He's gonna make some money right now. If we're talking about making money, right? He's gonna make money now. But can he maintain it and make money for a long period of time? Or this guy that's working on himself may not necessarily make the money now, but over a long period of time, he's going to end up making more money than this guy. Because along this journey, he picked up more skills and traits and habits and things that made him better and smarter that he's going to actually give and compound more in the long run compared to this guy that's doing the same thing for the next 10, 15 years because he thinks he's a black belt, right? I tell people when you become a black belt, it's a whole nother thing that you have to do. It's a whole nother journey that you have to restart of becoming better again. People used to, and I used to think this, you get to black belt, oh, I made it. That's it. I'm done. Right? And as people say, you're a master of the art. And I also say, no, not necessarily. I don't think you can master it. Mm-hmm. I think when you say you're a master, you've done. You stop learning. When you say you mastered something, right? You completed it. So what is there to learn? So I don't think it ever ends, right? And so I think the guy with the work ethic and the one that's going to work on himself daily, sharpening the sword daily, I think in the long run it'll pay off and compound compared to the guy that just has talent. And this is what happens with everybody in business and relationships. At first, like, okay.
Sports.
You know, sports is like, oh, I did it. I got the girl. I got the money. I got the accolades, the fame, whatever it is, because of my talent. but can I maintain it for a long period of time?
It's like saying when you get two people, and one of them is handed it a business, and the other one has to work for it. Usually, the person who got handed their business, the business dies because they don't know what to do. They don't have the character, the personality, the disciplines, and the principle to be able to maintain the level of black belt skills that are required to maintain the business. Whereas the number two person develop his character, and then when he achieved that business, he's able to have the skill sets and mindsets, right, to maintain it. And that's what I believe.
100%. You know, statistically, wealth is lost after the third generation. First generation made it, second generation enjoyed it, third generation they lose it.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy to think about? Them motherfuckers. I was stressing today, like them motherfuckers. The great grandkids, I'm gonna whoop their ass.
So what considered generation? Like, is it 100 years? Like,
No,
what, we be?
So you're first generation, right?
I-
Your kid is second generation. Your
Ah.
great kids is third generation, correct?
Yeah.
Oh,
You know, so to your dad,
so it
you're second
reset.
generation.
So it reset if when you become a dad.
Yeah.
So basically, my dad is first.
So for you, your dad's first generation.
Okay.
No, hold on.
Yeah.
I'm second generation.
Well, would it be his grandpa? Or for him? No, for him, it's, your dad's your first generation.
Yeah, so I'm second.
You're second generation.
So my dad
When
would
you
be
talk
second.
about in your family with
So
your
we're
dad.
backing up, yeah.
You know? And so when you have kids, that's the second generation. Your great grandkids will be third generation to you. Their kids will be fourth generation to you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So if my grandparents is still alive, I'm their third generation.
You're third generation to them, yeah.
They were wealthy. They were wealthy back then. I'm still wealthy now. This is the war.
Crazy.
What do you think about that? About the talented and the guy that sharpens his sword?
I think it's very true. I think you see it in jiu-jitsu. I think like guys come in hot, very athletic, and at first they go fast. But they aren't willing to like improve, you know. I think ego plays a lot into it and work and in life. Ego goes everywhere. But the guy that's steady, picking up the skills, like fine-tuning, what am I doing wrong? How can I get better? And not just this one guy that's like, I'm just keep doing what I'm doing because I'm so good at it. I'm just keep doing the same thing over and over. And I think that's the trap people fall in. I think people reach certain success and they're like, okay, I'm Gucci. I reached this certain level and I'm gonna just keep going straight. Instead of, okay, I've gotten here, I'm gonna get to the next level. What do I need to improve on? And I think sometimes people think they've gotten so good that maybe their ego doesn't even allow them to try to be humble, to put themselves in a learning position to be better. Open-minded. So I think at the end of the day, the guy that picks up those skills, like you were saying, will eventually surpass. Now, it might take in a long run, right? But he'll catch him up and then he'll surpass.
I'm glad that you brought up and used jiu-jitsu as an analogy, right? Because that's why jiu-jitsu is like so great. It's like you can literally tie your life situation with jiu-jitsu. Everything that you do and experience in life, you can tie it with jiu-jitsu. And it's crazy, and that's why I feel like a lot of people fall in love with jiu-jitsu and like have a great experience with it. And when they say jiu-jitsu changed my life, it's literally life itself in jiu-jitsu. You have to figure out the problem. If I'm always getting passed, why am I getting passed? And it's that small details that you're missing, right, that prevent them, that give them the opportunity to pass. And like you could see the same way in life. Why am I not getting rich? I'm missing this detail. You know what I mean? So
Powerful. Jiu-jitsu always wins. Jiu-jitsu is king.
100%.
wait, jiu-jitsu black belt versus like a professional boxer who you place him with?
Jiu-jitsu black belt. Come on, get out of here. If you're gonna
I'm
talk
gonna have
about,
the biggest ego when I get black belt.
always be humble.
I know, I will.
Young Body One. Always be humble.
But
Because here's the thing, right? I always tell people, fighting is not good. Don't fight. Violence is not necessarily good. You should be capable of violence, right? You should be. I think as a man, I think as a man, you should be capable of violence with your bare hands first, okay? You should have the technique, the skill set to hurt somebody with your hands. As a man, you should have that. If you don't have that, you're not a man. That's A, okay? Now, after that, you can go into firearms, you can go into knives, whatever it is you want. But as a man, you need that, okay? You have to have that. Other than that, I don't know what you are. You ain't protecting your lady, right? Back in the day, whoever was the strongest man will come pick that lady up and walk off with her. And there ain't nothing you can do about it. Just like animals do it in the jungle, okay? But when you talk about violence or, fighting, this is just bringing the topic of who wins, right? I said violence is not good. Fighting is not good, but you better be able to, you better have capability to do it, okay? And if it happens, at least you know that you trained up to the point to, at least you tried your best by training.
Yeah.
That when it happens, you try.
Yeah. You don't have to be like a world class.
You don't have to be world class nothing. You don't even have to be a black belt.
Yeah.
You don't even have to be a black belt. Just be a blue or purple belt, okay? But you don't want that time to come.
I regret it.
And then you never trained before and you don't know what to do. That's the problem right there, right? And women know this, and men know this. We're animals at the end of the day. We know who's capable and who's not capable, okay? But if you're gonna talk about fighting, you should have at least capability, okay? And now when you ask that question of a jiu-jitsu guy, a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and a boxer, all you're gonna do is take him down and choke him out. I don't care who it is. Floyd Mayweather, put him in a cage. All right, let's go.
And also, guys, I want to add my 2 cents into this. You have to do your research, because now we all do jiu-jitsu here, and we're gonna be biased, and it shows that jiu-jitsu is the way to really it's like it puts you in a situation where a real life situation, and it's effective, right? Jiu-jitsu is effective. It's been proven. Don't put yourself in a situation where you're practicing other martial art that is not effective or efficient in a real life scenario, right? Just to say that you practice martial art. You know what I mean?
I agree. And I'm this topic right here, I'm glad you said that, right? Because I started with Muay Thai and Judo first. So I've been doing Muay Thai since like 14 years old.
What about Taekwondo?
I did Taekwondo, but I was a very young kid. I got to yellow belt. So I don't want to talk about Taekwondo. Why you have to bring that up?
We knew you were a badass.
Watch out. I'm a yellow belt in Taekwondo. So I got to yellow belt in Taekwondo, quit. I was a kid. Later on, 14-ish, I started Muay Thai. And now, thank God, I'm a jiu-jitsu black belt, okay? But here's the thing. People always ask me this. What's better, coach? Or what's better, Mo? Muay Thai, kickboxing, boxing, jiu-jitsu, Krav Maga, karate, and so forth. Kung Fu, whatever it is. Let's just say traditional martial arts. Okay? First, I'm going to say this. It doesn't matter how trained you are, there's a possibility you get your butt whooped. This is the first thing you have to understand. You don't want to really fight. You want to fight by learning how to resolve the fight before it happens. Or to have the aura or the energy that when somebody wants to approach you, they're like, oh, this ain't the guy. Mm-hmm. This is the wrong dude. Okay? And the more sharp you are and the harder you train and the more trained you are, you will give off this energy like, I'm the wrong dude. You don't have to even necessarily say it. But at the end of the day, even though I'm a jiu-jitsu black belt, I fought MMA and all this stuff. If I'm in the street, guess what? Now, the chance is smaller, but I can still get knocked out and lose to a bum. I can still get my butt whooped to a bum. He catches me with a lucky shot. You know what I'm saying? I trip over the curb, something, whatever it is. I can still lose. I'm well aware of that. So first of all, you have to understand that you can lose. That's the first thing. But you have to do everything you can to not lose. And the chances obviously is a lot smaller when you train. The chance of a bum whooping me in the street is very slim. Okay? But the question that I get asked all the time is, which art to train? Okay, I started with Muay Thai. I've been doing Muay Thai 14 years now. More than Jiu-Jitsu. Okay? Jiu-Jitsu's been about 11 years now. I always tell them this, because they're like, well, if I get in a fight with guys, I'm not going to grapple 2 or 3 guys. Okay? Best case scenario is you train kickboxing and you train jiu-jitsu. This is best case scenario. The traditional martial arts, kick them out. Taekwondo, Kung Fu, Karate, don't even mess with it. This is me being straightforward with you guys. The best case scenario is that you train Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu. You're a human weapon if you do this. You are a human weapon if you do this, okay? But who's capable of doing this? The average Joe, who's capable of doing Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu? When they can't even train or work out, most of these people can't work out 1 day a week. So they can't do both, okay? And now when you talk about kickboxing or Muay Thai, what do you have to do in Muay Thai? You have to punch and kick. I'm 150 pounds. Most guys in the street are 6 foot, 6'1", 5'11", 6'2", 6'4", 190, 200, 220. He doesn't have to know how to throw a good punch. He just has to hit me. And then guess what? He will hit me. Guaranteed you're gonna get hit. And so if that one hit catches me and I'm knocked out and he's stomping on my head and I have my wife and kids here and I'm unconscious and he does whatever he wants, doesn't matter, I lost. I lost by getting my butt whooped, but I lost, my family got hurt. Okay? So that's the problem with Muay Thai. Let's just talk about one guy right now, just fighting one guy. Okay? Now with Jiu-Jitsu, everybody carries weapons these days, but at the end of the day, if I have to fight you, whether you have a weapon or not, I have to fight you. I have no choice left, right? With Jiu-Jitsu, I'm gonna take you down and put you to sleep, or I'm gonna break your arm. So I believe the skills that you can acquire in Jiu-Jitsu, you will be able to acquire them within 3 to 6 months of training Jiu-Jitsu, and they will benefit you more in self-defense than 3 or 6 months of Muay Thai, because you're still gonna be able to get knocked out because you don't know how to punch right yet. You still can't move your head. You can't get it off the center line. You can't move your feet. You don't have a good fight stance, and you don't know how to grapple. When I grapple, I close the distance. You can't punch me and knock me out. Mm-hmm. So you don't even know how to close the distance and negate the punches, because all you do know how to do is punch. So I think you'll pick up the skill set in Jiu-Jitsu quicker that will pay off quicker in self-defense than in kickboxing. So that's why when people ask me, I always tell them Jiu-Jitsu is number one. Because I know, I'm not trying to doubt you, but I know that you're not going to train 1 or 2 years of Muay Thai. I know you're not going to do it. But I know that if you train Jiu-Jitsu with me, 3 months, 6 months, you're going to be okay to grab somebody, double leg him, and put him on his back. And when he's on his back, he's not going to know what to do. That's the power of Jiu-Jitsu. You know what I mean? And that's why I think it's important to train Jiu-Jitsu. And I think that's why it's the number one thing to do for men specifically. Women also need it, because when you get in a grapple, it's going to help you. Now, people say, well, Mo, what if you fight 2 or 3 guys? Okay? How are you going to grapple them? I'm not going to grapple them. I'm not even going to try to fight them. If I have to fight them at that point, guess what? It's either I die or they die. Which one is it? I get hurt or you get hurt. Guess what? You best believe I'm going to hurt you as much as possible before you hurt me and my family. Yeah. Okay? And when you train Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu, you have a better chance, because guess what? You're going to clinch up with one of them. They're going to grab a hold of you. You want to win that clinch battle. The other one, you're going to want to punch and kick and circle around, right? But at that point, you're kicking the knee out. You're trying to blow his knee out, if not in a freaking shooting battle at that point. Because the chance of you winning against 3 guys, doesn't matter how trained you are, is going to be very slim. You can survive, but to win, survival is winning. But to win, like, oh, I'll beat the hell out of these 3 guys, doesn't matter who you are, it's going to be hard. You have to accept the fact up front, okay? Yes, I trained over half of my life. Yes, I'm a Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Yes, I've done all these things. But I'm well aware I can still get my butt whooped by 3 guys. So I'm going to try to dissolve it. But one-on-one, hopefully I don't get stabbed and hopefully I don't get shot. That dude's going to get messed up.
I always tell people be like, oh, you don't want to go to the ground in a street fight, right? Okay, yeah. The last place you want to be in a street fight is with another man on top of you and you can't get them off. That is the last place you want to be. Even if you're a kickboxer, if you don't know how to get somebody off from mount or side control, you're screwed. All that punching, kicking is not going to do you no good on the ground. Your power's negated. They're both good, obviously. If you have both, the better. But I agree, Jiu-Jitsu's king. You should go look at the Gracie fights online if you've never seen them. They could be very primal, but they tested other martial arts and they showed that their system was definitely the best system at the time, and I think it's still the best system. At right now, one-on-one, right?
I agree.
You guys want more proof? Watch John Wick. All of his fight scene, jiu-jitsu. Mine is a gun.
That is true.
So if you want to be like John Wick, train jiu-jitsu. Where you can train? Border martial art.
That's right.
Oh, man. The other day at the gym, I feel like sometimes, do you just feel like people are just testing you? Bro, like,
All men test men,
bro,
by the way.
it's just like, it drives me nuts. It's like, really? Are your pride or ego is that low, or self-esteem is just that low for you to like try and test another man capability? I will fool you, my boy. I was just at the gym the other day.
My boy.
I was at the other gym today. I mean, for granted, when you're at the gym and it's crowded, sure, it can be personal sometimes. However, when it's not crowded and there's like a crap ton of space that you can just walk through and you don't have to like literally come so near me where you're basically brushing your dusty hair off of my shoulder. Really, bro? Two ways I look at it. Either you're testing me and trying to start something, or you have a problem, or like you're that's how I look at it.
Was your girl with you?
Yeah, Chris.
She was testing you.
He did it to, like, I'm like, bro, you have so much space here. Like, what is there? Am I looking at what is another perspective? Because I'm trying to look. I'm like, there's no way. Like, I'm trying to figure out, is there another possibility where maybe he just got blind looking at his phone? But then again, are you just that lost? Like, I can look at my phone and I still know where I'm going. You know what I mean? I don't bump into people.
No, I mean,
You know what I mean?
I see where you're coming from, right? There's many ways you can look at it. Like, if you think of the negative, you're gonna capitalize on the negative. If you look at the positive, you're gonna capitalize on the positive.
Are you trying to be friendly? I guess he's trying to get my attention.
Maybe he thinks you're cute. Maybe, right? But no, all jokes aside, the positive maybe like people are not aware of their space. The positive. Okay, that's one way to look at it. Mm-hmm. The other way to look at it is maybe he's testing you. He's like, man, his girl's with him. He's trying to get her attention. He ain't worried about you. He's probably just sizing you up. Like, he's getting mad right now. He's getting upset
because this happened like multiple times. It's a different person. The first person, he got to the point where I shoulder check him, and he never done it again.
So he was probably testing you. You know what I'm saying? So here's the thing. Like, this to me, it's funny, right?
Why they gotta pick on short an Asian?
That's what I'm about to say. She a short Asian dude, and you got your girl with you. I think he's probably testing you.
I have my sugar on.
It don't matter.
I got veins popping out. Like, I got a map on my body. And
but everybody at the gym is like that, right? So maybe your sword is not sharp enough, so he can't feel that energy.
I'm getting rid of my bands. I wish he tried me.
But no, like, this is what I think of that. This is what I think. If I'm by myself, I'm like, okay, that's cute. Like, are you trying to show me how strong you are?
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. Like, okay, that's cute. Do I get annoyed sometimes? Yes, I do get annoyed. But at the end of the day, like, if you know you can whoop them, right? Humbly, we're going to say, right? We're not saying, I'm Mr. Macho. Then it's like, just ignore the dude.
Yeah.
Or, hey, man, like, can you watch your space?
I might did.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all it has to be. Now, if I'm with somebody and I feel like they're testing me, like, I'm going to try to ignore it. I'm like, hey, man, can you give me my space? Mm-hmm. Can you give me my space? You know? And then from there, you're going to know. But, like, if I'm by myself, I will ignore it sometimes. Because, like, I think if you're trying to be tough right now, I think you're being cute. Right? And I don't think that's going to be the best option for you. You know what I'm saying? But I do think, like I said earlier, we're animals. Guys are always going to test guys. Men are always
sizing
they're
up.
always sizing each other up. You know what I'm saying? They're always sizing each other up.
Sometimes, but in a healthy
And I'm like,
way.
I'm sitting at the airport.
I feel like you should.
I think you should always. I think that I'll be sitting at the airport, sitting there, and I'm like, all right, if this guy was good in a fight with me, that's exactly what I'm going to do. This is what I do,
All
right?
the scenarios start running through your head.
Bro, I'm sitting in the airplane and I'm like, all right, if this dude gets up and acts silly, like I already know what I'm gonna do. But I'm doing this I'm doing this consistently. But I'm not doing it from a standpoint of ego. Like, am I stronger than this guy?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see like
You're doing
the
it
best
for, like,
plan of action.
Entertainment.
You know, entertainment, best plan of action of if we get to scrapping, what's gonna happen? You know, but I don't really pay attention to that stuff. Like, if you fought, you don't really want to fight no more. You know?
So yeah, brothers, right?
Yeah.
So that happened. Would you feel the same way with your by yourself versus with your brother? I feel like Michael was in the gym with me at the same time.
No, you're confident.
And I feel like so I was like, all right, dude. The moment I get into something, I know somebody's gonna be on my back.
No one may start losing the fight.
But that's the problem. It's not a problem. It's not a problem.
It started engaging your ego more. Yeah, come on, I want you, sir.
I mean, it's not a problem. But it's like when me and my brothers is together. It's like if something happens, it's 5 of us. Mm-hmm. Like it's gonna all hell's gonna break loose. You know. And my dad always tells us it's funny because like my dad's like, hey, be on reserve. You know, like don't. He knows we don't start nothing. Yeah. But it's we learned from my dad and my uncles is like, you know, don't start nothing. But if somebody tests you, like they want it, break their neck, like step on them. You know what I'm saying? And I thank God when we start training, we quit fighting, right? But yeah, when you have your brothers with you, or even your friends, like your people that you know you can rely on, is like you're always thinking like, I wish somebody would. Like, and I don't like that sometimes because sometimes that causes the problem.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like when you're 5 guys out, you know, like me and my brothers or me and some guys were out, and it's like you get attention already. It's 3, 4 guys, right? And especially if you're trained. I think the guys that are trained and the guys that are not trained, you can distinguish, right? You might, okay, that dude's trained. That dude's not trained, right? And that's probably me just because I train people, right? And so I can distinguish, okay, this is strong, this is weak. He's weak, he's strong, right? And so I think that sometimes when you give that energy off, like and it's for you guys and you're giving that energy off, some guys are going to want to test that just because they're goofballs. Or they might have been drinking, right? So also you don't want to like, because you know you got 5 guys with you, that doesn't mean you need to jump on them and start fighting. You know, so you got to walk the fine line and not be overconfident.
You think men should like incorporate, not incorporate, but like, you know, dating app nowadays, you can add to your bio, like, hey, I do this, da-da-da, like cats, whatever, I like fishing. Should men incorporate, hey, I do more sharp? Would you think that will make people, or the woman, or whoever, be more interested with you? Or you think that's just like showing off?
I think that'll probably make her more scared. Like, what if we on a date and he fucking snaps on my ass? He gonna fucking put me to sleep.
So that's a good topic because a lot of people are under impression where if you're a trained fighter, for granted, people who in the UFC, a lot of them have allegation of hitting their significant other. In my opinion, I feel like those guys, even though they're great fighters, still aren't men because
I agree.
Like respectable men, I mean. Like for example, if you know how to fight, putting your hand on a woman, come on, bro. Are you a man? Like then that you just show you that your self-esteem. Sure, a woman can get on your nerves. Sure, sometimes you just wish they drop dead, but you know, just kidding.
I was thinking about it when John Jones like hit his wife in Vegas, right? And like imagine you're the police officer, just gotta pull up, right? Like, like I'm gonna go beat them over. You gotta go. Who is he? He's like John Jones, undefeated, youngest champion ever.
You're like, call for backup. 10-4.
I'm putting a gun out.
So I think to answer your question, I don't know how dating apps are right now, right? But I'm pretty sure most guys are typing up their whole bio. They put their whole resume on there. I guarantee you, if you look it up, they probably say, "Yeah, I'm 6 foot, 200 pounds of muscle. I lift weights. You know, I do this and I do that." So I bet you the guys that do train probably say it, right? Now, what was your question about the women?
would would that make them more interested? Saying, hey, this guy's well trained. I can rely on him when things go south. He can protect our family.
So I'm gonna tell you this. This is something that I know, guaranteed. Okay.
Should men do that?
I don't believe in dating apps. Me. So you're asking the wrong guy about that. And also, I
the
think
love of your life.
I think also that if you say that, I think some of the younger girls do think it's attractive. Like, hey, I fight MMA or I do jiu-jitsu. Some girls think that's attractive. But also, I think you got her because she's attracted to things that you have, if that makes sense. Like, you had to almost kind of like convince. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I almost had to sell her, like, hey, like me because I'm strong and I do jiu-jitsu and I do this.
Well, how? I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Or you can sell it naturally, right? Because I think, I'm not saying girls. Women know, okay, whether you're strong or you're weak. Women know. I truly believe this, okay? It's funny because it's like I see guys and I see like the married guys and it's like whether they train or they don't train. When I talk to them, it's like, and some people have told me this, by the way. They're like, oh, he thinks she, like she would say it about her husband. Like, oh, he thinks she knows how to fight. And I'm like thinking, to me, like, bro, that's the biggest insult you just said. Because you're just pretty much saying he ain't worth a penny.
man.
To me, that's to me.
If I was a female, I would be hyping my husband up so bad.
If he don't fight?
If he don't fight.
You a damn lie. Listen,
Bro.
listen. Calm down. Hold on. Let me tell you something.
If my husband can't fight, I'd be like, yeah, he can fight. He can whoop your butt
Okay.
like right now. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But I ain't gonna land him because I know we both got we both gonna get our ass whooped.
So listen, you can do that, right? And some ladies do that, right?
Yeah.
But they know deep down inside that dude ain't worth a penny.
Yeah, but
Listen, like I said earlier, women look, right? Sometimes they're taught to, hey, look for the guy that's, put together. Look for the guy that has a career, that's making a living, right? They're also taught, some of them is, look for the strong guy. Women are attracted to strong men, not boys, strong men. You don't have to say nothing, they're going to be attracted, okay? But deep down inside, if you don't train, they know. I'm telling you, they know. Doesn't matter how much they want to say, that's my husband, that's my kid's daddy. I don't care how much they want to say it. Deep down, they know inside that dude can't do nothing if it was to hit the fan. I guarantee it. And that's why I always tell men, you need to train, okay? And again, I always talk about animals. Talk about the silverback, right? This is present in humans. The silverback gorilla, this is one king of the jungle, right? He's the one that's the lead in the pack, correct? There's always another silverback that's gonna come up and test him. Always fight him. If this gorilla is not fit and skilled in violence and strong, he's gonna get taken over by the young silverback. Correct? Now, this big silverback, what does he have?
A silverback?
Yeah. He has a silverback, but what does he have in the jungle of the pack?
The sharpest sword.
He has a sharpest sword, but what does he have? He has all the
ladies.
He has all the ladies.
I want to say it, but I want to say it in other words.
Respectfully, he had all the ladies,
My
right?
pure mind didn't comprehend.
Your pure mind didn't comprehend. But this is true. The lions, right? The lions. What is the main lion? The one that's running the. What is it called? What is the term for lions? A herd of lions.
I don't know.
Forgot the
lioness.
No, lion pride.
The pride, right?
The pride. Sorry. No.
Who has access to mating? Now I'm not telling. Listen. Now it's gonna get crazy. Who has access to mating the ladies?
The Lion King.
He has the first to all the ladies.
And we animals, right?
I'm not justifying it. I'm just giving you an option. Okay? Deer, bucks in the rut. In the rut, bucks chase for miles, going after doe. The doe is not going to be receptive to any buck. She's going to be receptive to the buck that has the best genes, genetics. You know that, right? This is just human nature. Yeah. This is science. Okay? So women are the same way.
I think there's
and so guys, if you wanna get in a relationship, start training. Get sharp. Dead serious. This is one of the easiest way.
So let me ask you
You
this.
don't have to really.
No, you got to train, bro.
I mean, for example, like I mean, some girls just like like guys who are confident. Well, like you're not gonna be a guy who sure. Let's say you train, but you're not gonna beat the guy who. There's always guys who are gonna be better than you.
True.
Right.
True.
So you don't have to necessarily.
No, you don't. I'm not telling you to be a world champion.
Yeah.
I didn't tell you to be the #1 fighter in the
At
world.
least be
MMA guy. I'm not telling you. And you said girls like confidence. Okay,
Sometimes
true.
also-
But there's real confidence and there's confidence. Some guys have confidence. I'm like, bro, where did that confidence come from?
Mm-hmm.
And ladies also know that. Confidence from training and confidence from sharpening your sword is not normal confidence. This is not normal. The energy that you will give off from going through this process of sharpening your sword, of hard jiu-jitsu training, of lifting weights, of Muay Thai, of fighting, of shooting guns, of learning how to train, learning to be skilled, this kind of confidence, this kind of aura, energy is not normal. This you can feel. But confidence from a Joe Schmo that doesn't do nothing, that wears khakis and a polo shirt, that has this crazy confidence. He got a pink shirt on that says, you know, confident men, real men wear pink. That ain't real confidence. I don't know where he got that confidence from. True confidence is the one that goes through the hard, that goes through the process of sharpening the sword. This is true confidence. And this is where, like the lion and the silverback and the buck, because they went through that process. And these chemicals are getting passed left and right. The pheromones and stuff. Like this is not just like if you on face level, this is also chemistry.
I agree. Let's say this. Let's see what you guys think. Let's say like a cousin come to you, female cousin, right? Would you rather her get with the guy that has a lot of money, right? But he's soft, right? He's like, let's say he's like an IT guy, right? He's got no muscle. He's soft. You don't know how to shoot. You don't know how to fight.
Talking about my situation right now.
There's that guy, right? And then there's the guy who is not as rich, doesn't have as much money, but he's strong. Like he's a guy that trains. He's physically strong. He has morals. And you can tell that this guy, he's a hard person. Which one would you advise him more? Go with the rich dude who doesn't sharp his sword, or this guy? He's not making money like that, but you know that this is a strong man.
Strong man. I mean, strong man if he is truly sharpening the sword, because the problem is the temptations of this world will make you. What is it? The devil will make you slip, make a strong man slip. What is it? There's a quote. The temptation of this world will make you slip. They will make you fall. Okay? So some people think they're strong until they're not strong and they make a mistake and they slip. They cheat. They go down a bad rabbit hole. They got vices and whatnot. Right? And so the guy that might have the money, he's not strong. So he has money. Okay, what is he going to do for her? He's probably, this is just giving examples. He's probably talking to all these girls, cheating and going down all these rabbit holes, partying with the boys. Like, he's not strong enough to take care of his family. He didn't have the mindset to push away negative things so he doesn't slip and not be faithful to his wife. Because he hasn't done anything hard. Most of these guys have not done anything hard. Why do you think people cheat? Cheating is different aspects. Not like literally going and putting your penis in somebody, right? It's cheating is in different ways. But
Cheating is weakness in the mind.
you know, weakness in the mind, falling to traps, falling to vices, falling to the temptations of this world.
So if you're not able to fall from temptation, then that means you're a strong person, right?
You're strong. So
Remember when we had that conversation in Vegas where if you don't put yourself in a situation, why is that? You're saying like, why would you put yourself in that situation, right? Because you may felt risk of falling for that temptation.
why do you always bring up the same topic? He always wants to argue this topic. So we had a conversation.
I want you to understand.
So we're talking about the strong guy, okay? So this strong guy has a better chance, in my opinion, to not fall for these temptations. So he may not have money, but at least he's strong. Sadly, most of these guys are not strong. I was talking to somebody this morning, 57, 58 years old, and he's like, man, at this point, even the 30-year-olds, in their 30s, they're not mature. Like, when you hear that, what do you think? Like, when you were young and you heard, like, 30, like, man, that's a grown man. Mm-hmm. But now you're seeing like 30-year-olds, even some mid-30s, late 30s, they're acting like kids. So imagine the 20-year-old that has no resume, the 25-year-old that has no resume, that did not go through hardship, that's not trained, that has a dull sword. Okay? So I would advise her to go with the strong guy, even if he was poor. This is my 2 cents. Even if he was poor, I would say go with the strong guy. Because I believe in the longer run, she'll probably be happy if he's truly strong. If he's truly strong. Okay? That's my answer to that. You know, now to answer Ben's question, then I want to hear you guys' answer, is just because you are strong, I think you are stronger by being aware that anybody can make a mistake. Okay? So you can say, hey, Mo, I'll put you in this situation, right? I'm not going to say Gio. Just say, Mo, I'm going to put you in this situation. You should be strong enough to say no.
Repel.
To push it away, right? But I'm also strong enough to not even put myself in that situation. Why do I even have to put myself in that situation? That doesn't make me weak. That makes me smart. So that makes me strong and it makes me smart. Because I'm not even going to risk anything happening for whatever reason, even if nothing ever happens, but talk comes out of it. And somebody gets upset. My spouse gets upset. Okay? Or even just the look of it. Why put yourself even in that situation? I'm not, you can, well, God's hopefully has my back, right? But I'm not slipping. I'm not young anymore, right? I'm not a kid no more. I'm young, but I'm not a boy no more, right? I'm not a kid. So, and I have responsibility. I have things I have to worry about. I'm not going to put myself in a certain situation. And most people can't do this. They're going to say, well, I'm going to go out and hang out because I want to be with these people. And they would say, no, like, I'm going to skip this party. I've skipped so many parties of good friends because I didn't want to put myself in a situation that I knew what's going to happen. Even like I wasn't going to do nothing, but I know I'm going to get approached. I know I'm going to be around a lot of negative things. I know I'm going to be around a lot of things that are temptations on this earth. Mm-hmm. So I just don't put myself in that situation. Hey, man, I hate to miss the party, your birthday party. I hate to miss his wedding. I hate to miss whatever it is, but I can't make it. Does that make me weak?
Yeah.
It doesn't make me weak. You know, you may say it's weak because you can't control yourself. But I'm just saying, you may, like anybody, may say, hey, you're weak for doing that because you should have 100% self-control. I agree. But also, why even put yourself there?
I didn't say weak. I was just saying it makes you stronger if you're in that situation and you're able to repel it.
But like I said, I think you're stronger if you know that you can handle the situation, but you don't put yourself in that situation.
Bro, temptation is not somewhere you can just boop it out of your life existence. Temptation is everywhere.
It's everywhere, but you can minimize it.
That's what I'm saying.
But you can minimize it. You're always going to have the lady in the red dress. This is what we're talking about, the lady in the red dress. The lady in the red dress is drugs,
it's very
alcohol,
tempting.
girls, sleep. Whatever it is, sleep, whatever it is. The lady in the red dress is there no matter what. She will always be there. But you can decide and choose to be around her or to try not to be around her if you have a choice. Most young guys are going to say, well, the lady in the red dress is everywhere. I can't get away from her. Just be strong enough and not do anything or not fall for her.
So with that logic, right? Let's say you, for example, 6 a.m. and then you have to wake up for 6 a.m. Lady red dress, like, hey, I need you to go away. I don't want you to go to 6 a.m. So what? You telling me that don't put yourself in that situation. So don't go to 6 a.m. class in general. And bam, the temptation won't be there. Hey, right?
No.
Does that? Yeah.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. That's a weakness. What I'm talking about. All right, I'm gonna give more details. Let's say, okay, on this topic, I think it was something along the lines of going to the strip. We're in Vegas, right?
Yeah, I think.
Going to the strip at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning.
The strip in Vegas, not the strip club, right?
No, the Vegas strip.
No, we went to somewhere else.
No, but listen, the Vegas strip is what we're talking about. That's where a lot of partying happens, a lot of girls, a lot of guys, a lot of drinking, a lot of partying. A lot of sins, correct? Sin City.
Sin City, baby.
Okay? So, we are a group of 3 guys, 3 men. Okay? The truth is, we can go out, and I know I'm not going to tell you, Gio, hey, go hit up on that girl. And I'm hoping you ain't going to tell me that. And I'm hoping he's not going to tell me that. And we're not going to tell each other that, right? We're strong enough to go out to the strip and get some ice cream. Correct? But do we have to do it at 2 o'clock in the morning or 1 o'clock in the morning?
Do y'all have to do it?
Listen, just answer my question. No, you don't have to do it.
Yeah, you don't.
Does that make you weak? Hey, why are we not going to go out? Because we know the temptations are out there.
Yeah.
The risk is high. The chances are high. Why even put ourselves in that situation?
But we want some ice cream.
But we should have got it earlier. Or we can go somewhere else to get ice cream. Mm-hmm. Does that make us weak?
I agree. You just move yourself.
You always somewhere to get ice cream.
You just remove yourself from the position. I think it's very wise because at the end of the day, nobody's superhuman, and I think you might be caught on a bad day, and you might slip that day.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Not every day are you like 100% on point.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. But I feel like those days, sure, you shouldn't put yourself in a situation where you can't repel it. However, just like with patience, if you're running low on patience, you shouldn't do the things that will make you irritable, right? We were talking about in the car. So, but you have the energy to repel the temptation. You know, you don't have to suppress your wants or needs because there's temptation there. You know what I mean?
100%. So, what do you tell your cousin about the rich guy or the strong guy?
I'm actually in that situation right now, and I'm not gonna say names, right? But I have a cousin that's dating one of my best friend. You know, although he's not rich right now, because IT actually is not doing so hot in this economy right now, with this administration. You know,
I'm blaming Joe Biden.
Yeah, I'm Joe Biden.
I'm blaming Joe Biden.
I'm blaming Trump.
No, I was just joking.
You're blaming Trump now?
I always blame Trump. Well, actually, I don't know because Biden actually took away all the jobs, right, by letting a lot of outsiders come in taking the jobs. So
and digging the germs.
Right. So, but that's not the point. The point is that my friend, he don't have a job or whatever, but he doesn't train as well. He liked boxing. He wanted to train, but I know for a fact that when shit hit the fan, I know that he's the type of person that will defend his family to the best of his ability, and that's what matters. And I feel like a woman sees that as value. I don't think they see it as like, can you fight? You know what I mean? Because for me, if I was a woman, I would want a man who would just stand up for me. And like, even though they don't know how to fight, you know. Yeah. And let's say you're in a situation where he does know how to fight, but he still gets butt whooped. You know what I mean? Because like the other guy, you never know. He may be trained as well. As long as he has that characteristic of like, hey, I'm defending my family. He has the heart to defend his family. That's what matters.
I agree, 100%. I don't know why I always go back to this. Like, what if like it was the apocalypse, right? And it was like everybody versus everybody. But then all that money ain't gonna count no more. Or is the man gonna be able to step up to protect his family? You know, because you just go back to primal, right? Will he be able to protect his tribe from the outsider threats? So somebody that's strong. I think what you said is very smart, very wise too. Like about like, okay, this guy's strong. When he has the temptation of cheating, when he has the temptation of doing drugs, when he has the temptation of spending his family's money on something that, like maybe gambling, he won't fold on that. And not only is he protecting himself, but he's protecting his whole house and his integrity. Compared to maybe a guy who might be very successful because he's very smart and he has talent, and maybe worked hard for that in that sense, but he's not hard in all the aspects of his life, then he is more susceptible to fall to temptations, like gambling, cheating, and all that stuff, you know.
When you guys go on dates, do you guys like what type of questions do you guys usually ask?
I don't know if he goes on dates.
Well,
I'll let Gio
he
answer
still
that.
talks to. I mean, you still talk to another person to be your significant other. Do you guys ask a certain question? Because one of my brothers were, asking us about a woman opinion, and I depend. What type of questions do you ask? Do you ask her about her financial situation? Things like that. Her viewpoint, her values. Does she have a family value? You know what I mean? If she doesn't, she's not gonna work with us. You know what I mean? Because our family is very family oriented, right? So those are. I feel like nowadays people ask. I remember me when I was trying to date. I asked like, "What's your favorite color? What's your favorite music?" And I just look it back like, damn, that is so immature. Versus now, the type of question I ask, right, when I go on dates. Not anymore, right? Because I have a significant.
He's
other.
already taken.
Man, you already slipped up.
I
When
don't
you
go
go
on
on
dates.
dates, boy.
No,
I go on date with you.
What kind of questions you ask? What kind of questions you ask?
Like I said, financial situation, because I feel like it's important. If you're in debt, it shows me that you're not financially stable and that you don't know how to handle your money. Sure, you have student debts or whatever it is, car note. I don't count that. However, you have credit card debts that may be that may be an indicator for me to be like, okay, she don't know how to save money. She don't know how to spend money, right? On use valuable things, use of stuff. That her political thing, point of view. I hate to admit that that perspective is very important because it also share and tie along with values. If you support the same politician or whatever that share the same values as you, then that's important, right? Things like that, and then family stuff. Are you traditional or non-traditional, like that? And then those are the biggest thing for me. And then we'll do whatever.
Yeah, I agree. I think I think for like marriage, you gotta look at politics. You gotta agree on politics. You gotta agree on religion. I think if you try to marry somebody that's a different religion, it's very messy. Because how are you gonna raise the kids? You want to raise your kids this one religion, and then she's like, no, my kids are gonna be atheists till they can grow up inside. That's a mess waiting to happen. Finance, but I think mainly it's like, I think they like on the first date, everybody's gonna show themselves presentable, and they're gonna probably say what they want, what they're thinking you might want to hear. So they might lie and put up a face. But I think down the line, though, slowly you start trying to get to know them, you will get to know who they are. It would just come up on subtle things, right? Things that how they act, things that they say. But I think you definitely got to be in agreement about politics, money, religion, morals.
For some reason,
And I think she comes from an effed up family. Don't even worry about it.
that's true. I also ask. You will want to ask about your how's your family? Are you coherent? Coherent?
What do you mean? Is she Korean?
The Korean. is her and her family is able to get along? If that's the case, that's a big red flag of like, yeah, she's not very family. She doesn't have family values. You know what I mean? She doesn't get along. She doesn't respect her parents, right? Because especially if you want to date into a culture, like for example, Asian, probably your culture as well, it's very big no-no if you're very disrespectful for if you're against your parents, right? So the moment my parents, the moment I bring a girl in, they will be like, okay, she's respectful. The thing, not necessarily you don't have to do the traditional woman thing, but like, are they gonna be able to take care of me? Are they good enough to be with me? You know what I mean? Those type of things.
100%.
But I feel like if you ask those questions, girls get intimidated, and then is that normal? I feel like if a woman, I won't say woman actually, because if a woman get intimidated by those questions, then you're not a woman, right? You're still a young girl. Because if you're if both parties are mature enough to have these conversations in their first date and just get it over with, I feel like that's very mature of you as a person. Don't you think? Because that's what I feel.
I think if she don't like it, she's probably just looking to have fun. Probably not looking for something serious.
When you date for one reason. Is to either date for, or two reasons, I guess. Date for fun and then date to look for another significant other. I date to look for another significant other. I don't date to have fun.
Yeah.
You know, not anymore. Hypothetically, of course, God.
Yeah, throw that in there. Oh, it's tough.
Keep shooting.
Now, well,
Go ahead, keep shooting.
I remember I was here at Grant Cardone, right? He was telling this one girl like advice how to find a stud, right? Like, dude, like, how can this girl find a stud? How can she find a great man? He was like, I'll tell her this. What's up, dude? Let me see them faces. Like, you ain't seen my checks, bro. What's wrong with you? That's a gold digger right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's too personal, bro. Shit. Like, how much you make it?
Right. Do you think that's an appropriate question a woman asking?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, why you like? Here's the thing, like, I'm gonna let you guys answer that question.
Why you guys?
But
You answer it.
no, I'm saying like the question that he asked earlier. But when it comes to the money part, like, if that's the first question you ask, you already tell me what you're thinking about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's why guys got to be smart also.
Well, what if they want to see if you're able to financially make a financially stable for a family with her.
Bro, listen.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
That's, I mean, if I look at it that way, it
Can you
makes sense.
tell who's financially fit or not?
Sometimes they could just rent a suit. I could go rent a suit.
But I'm saying, but for the most part,
Maybe depending on where I take.
you're 28 years old. Can you tell or you can't?
For
What-
the most part.
For the most part, you can tell. Okay. Now, but if that's the first question out the rip, hey, how much you make? That's red flag X. That's me, 2 cents.
100%. I think guys got distinguished. Like, does she love you, or does she love the
love your-
lifestyle you can provide?
She love you. She love your lifestyle, or she love your pockets. Which one is it? You know what I'm saying? So, loving you and loving your lifestyle and loving your pockets is two different things. The lifestyle and the pockets is one thing. You is something else. You know, I think you have to be number one. You guys have to get along number one, and number two, everything else you figure out. You know, but if the first question out the rip is how much money you make, or what do you own, like I don't even think that should be even first few questions. Like we don't know each other. What you mean? You're gonna judge it based off material?
What do they say? Like, one time they asked me this, not on a date, right? But it was like, no, it was not a date.
You and Ben, man.
But yeah, it was this.
Well, we can have dates or something and share our past experience.
No, this
you
one
want to be the
lady
perfect
asked me-
guy?
Lady asked me like, "What are you working?" I was like, "So and so," and they said like, "Oh, you get paid good? Oh, you think that's inappropriate?"
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's like, why do you have to talk about that up front? And here's the thing: most young girls are gonna talk about that up front, or they're gonna be, if they don't talk about it, they're gonna be attracted by, okay, he drives a nice car, he owns this, he owns that, he works here, he works there. You know, so there's a lot of speculation.
Well, maybe.
You know, especially if you're a lavish guy. If you're lavish and you're GQ all the time, you know what I mean? You got your nice watch, you got nice cologne, dressing nice, always posting up at a restaurant. It doesn't necessarily mean you make $200,000 a year. But if you're always at the restaurant and you're always going out, oh, that's attractive to this girl, probably. To this girl, that's attractive. Mm-hmm. So she's gonna be attracted to you because she's already attracted to that thing. She may not necessarily be 200% attracted to you. She's attracted to some of the things that you like because she's attracted to those things too. So it makes you more attractive to her. Right? Mm-hmm. When instead of, hey, this guy just friggin' sits at home and rides his horse on a weekend and cleans up after the chickens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And stays at home and works. That's it. Right? Rather than showing a life of freaking on airplanes and in these cities and on a beach and in the mountains and wherever you are. Nice car, nice truck, nice clothes. Always posting up steaks in a restaurant. It's two different things. You know what I mean? So, but at the end of the day, I think you are, if you're not just having fun, right? If you're having fun, this is the easiest thing you can do. Right? Is it worth it? That's for you to answer. If you're in something, looking for something serious, I think you attract who you are. This is what I believe. If you're a black belt, you're gonna attract the black belt. If you're a white belt, you're gonna attract the white belt. If you're a purple belt, you're gonna attract the purple belt. This is what I believe. Okay, now I also believe the higher up in the rank that you go, the slimmer the options are. You know what I mean? So, and the ranks, you rank your own self, whatever that rank means, whatever the black belt means in a relationship, right? It can be you partying. That's part of your black belt. That's fine. But I believe if you're strict and you're traditional and you're a homebody and all that, a family guy, I think the higher the rank you are, the smaller the options get these days. Because people are going to be upset. I think most of these are white belts, maybe blue belts.
But if you're a black belt, then you have no room to grow, and then...
Who said you don't have room to grow? You should always have room to grow. If you're a black belt that believes in master the art, they don't have room to grow. If you're a black belt that believes in sharpening your sword, you always grow. But your standards are higher. Your principles are strong. Your character is strong. And you're not going to fold to what you believe in. This is your set standard. I'm not going to fold to this girl because she's just pretty.
That's true, but would you want a girl who just say is a yes sir?
No,
you have no open mind, that no.
It's not about her saying yes sir. It's about her being the same thing. It's about her having the black belt lifestyle too. I'm not saying that what my black belt is and your black belt is two different things, right? We believe a lot of the same things, but you believe in certain things. Like your girl working is fine. For me, it's not fine. Mm-hmm. For part of my black belt is my woman not wanting to work. Your part of your black belt, that's fine. Okay? So your black belt woman that you're going to find is going to be in that category. She's going to fit that description. Mine is going to fit my description. Now, mine is going to be very small because of the certain things I have, right? All of ours is going to be very small with the point that we are in our life, right? It's not like we're talking about teenagers and young 20-year-olds that just want to have fun. Mm-hmm. Looking for something serious. So the pond gets smaller. The count gets smaller. And so the more mature you want to be, the more moral you want to be, the ethical, cultural, whatever it is that you want, the list gets smaller and smaller. And so you can choose to be white belt, blue belt. But if you say, hey, I want a black belt marriage, a black belt house, a black belt spouse, right? This is going to get smaller. But at the end of the day, if you want a black belt wife, for let's just say whoever the guys are that are listening, and you're not a black belt, guess what? It's not going to happen. And if a girl wants a black belt husband and she's not a black belt, it's not going to happen.
Now, I want to ask you this. Is there such thing as a woman being out of your league?
What is it? Exactly what does that mean?
Like, let's say the one guy were like, I like this girl, right?
But she's too good.
Yeah, she's out of my league.
I never had that.
I don't want to answer that question. I mean, I'm a black belt, cuz. So either she's a coral belt or she ain't. You know what I mean? But if you're saying humbly, right?
You haven't found his true love yet.
like humbly, right? We just say black belt's the top. I believe I'm a black belt. I'm a jiu-jitsu black belt. But also as a human, I'm trying to become a black belt, husband, whatever, and whatnot. So unless she's a black belt, she ain't out of my league. And I think I'm a black belt. Now, somebody may say, Mo, you're a brown belt, you're a purple belt. That's fine, right? I'm a black belt that's still trying to work to become better. So I don't know. I don't want to say, no, there's not a girl that's out of my league. Maybe I'm out of her league.
Wait, I think, I'm saying, going back, I think it's inappropriate to ask, hey, how much money you have. However, there's different methods and approach to pull that information out. You get what I'm saying? Instead of saying how much money you make bluntly, you could be like, hey, what job do you do? What you do? Instantly, if you're educated and smart, you know how much money they will make. If you're IT, okay, they make roughly around 80 to 60 to 100K, 60 to 150K. Okay, he could sustain me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's all about how you deliver your topics that you want to ask. I'm like, for example, I'm not gonna say, "Are you in debt?" You know what I mean? Like, goddamn, like that's the first thing I ask. So I'm gonna ask questions that correlate to those topics that I look.
You know,
for.
actually, Dave Ramsey gives you advice that you should ask your partner how much. Like, you gotta check their bank statement. Like, you gotta check their
Because that's all fall on you when you're married. When you married, that's your debt now.
Yeah, that is. It is your debt now. You know what's crazy? I heard.
Will you stop the marriage if you
So
figure?
let me ask you this. I'm gonna ask you this. I don't know how we got to these topics today.
He started with the relationship.
We had a completely different course, guys, and Ben hit us with the 360. But let me ask you guys this.
By the way, if you do 360, you end up in the same spot. You do a 180.
180. I mean, we ended up back in the same spot that we started. Relationship. But let me ask you this, okay? Because we're not dumb, right? We're grown,
Yeah.
right? Freaking entrepreneurs. So we know, we sell, right? So when we sell, we know how to speak, right? I consider myself a closer, right? I know how to sell. I know to ask questions to get what I want. And I know if you're asking me questions to get what you want. I'm not stupid, okay? If you have this skill trait, right? You know what they're asking. It may be, hey, yeah, what kind of job you have? I know what she's asking, okay? Now, that's a little more respectful question, you know? Especially if you don't know each other. For me, it's weird when you don't know each other, like, randomly, out of the blue, right? Like a Tinder thing or a dating app. I think that's weird, me personally, right? Because you're meeting a stranger. Now, if you meet somebody through somebody you know, in your friend group, something like that, I guess that's a little bit easier because you've already known. And if you're attracted to them, you've already looked into them, right? This is how it works. But let me ask you, you're asking the girl for her finances, which is, for me, is weird. Be honest with you. I don't want to say that first, but I'm going to say it because you're going down that hole. I think it's weird for me to ask a girl, a woman, about her finances. Me personally. So my question to you, and now you have a good point, because that debt is going to come to you, right? You're going to have to take care of it.
Well, it also, the reason why I asked for financial situation is because are you going to be using our money irresponsibly?
Yeah.
That's mostly why I asked.
Yeah.
I don't care how much money you make.
Yeah.
But all I care is about the money that we put together jointly and you irresponsibly using it.
Yeah.
That's what I worry about.
I get where you're coming from, but still, for me, it's weird to ask. It's probably going to have to be like speculations, you know what I mean, of this. But let me ask you this, right? I see where you're coming from, because, like, all right, if she's, for example, okay, you see a girl, and she's always out, just eating at restaurants, always with her homegirls, going to get coffee every single day, always shopping. Like, you're like, damn, like, what do you do? Like, all you do is spend money. I think that's your answer, right? You don't even have to ask. Hey, what are you doing? I'm with my girls at the mall buying some clothes. Next day, what are you doing? Oh, we went out to eat. Next day, well, we're going to get coffee. Next day, same thing. Like, damn, like, what are you doing, right?
True, however.
So now there's nothing wrong with doing that and having fun. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, no.
But to do it consistently, it's like, damn, like, all you're doing is you're a money machine. You know what I mean? So, like, you can get your answer. For me, it's like, okay, that's an answer. Look how she dresses, how she spends on her clothes, how she does. Is she going to get her hair done every month? Is she doing nails every week? Is she buying the most expensive clothes? Like, you can see, like, most expensive purses. Some things you can see, or she's living a simple life, right? But here's my question. I'm jumping around. Is if you see a girl, okay, she may be in debt, whatever it is. She, not school debt, not whatever. She spent a lot of money. Mm-hmm. This is my question to you. She spends a lot of money. And I guess let's just say she's reckless for her money. But you think she's a good person? Would you still be with her?
No. So
That was too fast.
no, I value a lot with a person who's able to self-control. Bringing back to your point when you're like spending a lot, that doesn't, for me, that doesn't necessarily, not enough evident for me to indicate that she's irresponsible, because maybe she can afford that. Maybe she's able to afford that and be able to live that lavish lifestyle.
Okay, but what if she wants to do that, but she says, hey, when I get married to you, I don't want to work no more.
That's fine.
So she can still maintain that.
Huh?
So she can still maintain that.
Yeah. If she live a certain, I'll be like, hey, we can't live that because I'm broke too. Just kidding, right? But like, if we're not able to do that, what I'm looking for, if we're not able to live like that lifestyle, then I want us to be able to live how we're comfortable with the money that we're making. If we're making it well enough, then shit, by all means, blow money. You know what I mean? But if you're not, if you're making this much and you're spending this much, that's showing me the type of person you are. You're irresponsible, right? That's what I'm looking at. But yeah, no, if she's in debt, no, I wouldn't.
I don't know. I think, you know what, to me, like, if she's like, let's say, like, what if I lost my job? Are you willing to work and pay bills? If she says yes, I'm like, I think that's a soldier right there. If she's like, no, I ain't gonna budget and start working, you better find a way. I'm like, what the fudge? Now, I don't think she's a team player. I think she's just an individual in it for herself.
I agree.
Powerful.
Put her to work, man.
Sometimes you get like the husband can get laid off and the wife has to work and take care of for a couple of years. And I feel like it's a bum if you're not a man, if you're just letting your wife does that.
Yeah, I was listening to the Dave Ramsey show. This one guy lost his job in 2008 during the financial crisis. He lost his job, and 12 years later, right, his wife is calling Dave Ramsey, talking about her husband can't find a job. It's like, woman, it's not that he can't find a job. It's that he don't want to find a job. It's been 12 years.
Yeah.
I don't know. Those women stay there. She really loves her man, and she's loyal to him, so maybe God bless her.
Good faith, I guess, for good on her for people who's like put up with those type of things. I don't. If I don't put it myself, then I can't expect the other person to put it up with me. You know what I mean? It's different if you're chasing dreams and you're in debt because of your failures. But I feel like it's a trend. And so much mistakes can only add up to become a success, right? So right now I'm currently in that situation where I'm chasing my dreams, you know. But it's not like I'm just sitting around wasting my life away, you know. I'm still making money enough to sustain myself, you know. But if I want to start a family, I want to be able to financially be stable to start one. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's selfish. A lot of people ask me, when you gonna pop the ring? When you gonna pop the ring? I'm like, it's irresponsible for me to put her in a situation where I'm not able to take care of a family when I want to start one, you know.
Do you think
some people just rush into it?
So you think it's irresponsible to have a kid if you're not financially ready for him?
Yes, that's my personal opinion. If you're not, maybe a lot of people think it's a blessing to have it because it pushes them to like do better. But for me, it doesn't apply for me. I know what the type of character I am and the person who I am, I don't need a child to push me in the right path. Right? I know what path I'm on right now, and the path that I'm on right now it's a good path, and I'm gonna continue going that, and I don't need a child to help me push into that path. That makes sense.
That makes sense. What do you think, bro? Should you be financially ready before you have a kid?
I believe so, yeah.
Do you think it's irresponsible to just have a kid without?
No, I mean, how are you going to take care of them? So some people are having kids left and right just because they can't control themselves, right? That's a whole nother issue. But I think it's the same thing. Like, if you can't take care of the kid, man, like, and then your wife also. Like, and that's why people like, you're always about the money. It's like, I'm not money hungry. I'm just telling you what you need for this life. You need to make money.
Sure.
I tell you this, you know? I always told him, I've told you this, right? Is you need X amount of dollars. I'm not asking you to be wealthy. And wealthy is millions, right? I'm not asking you necessarily to be that much. But you need enough to sustain the life that you want. You talked about the lifestyle that y'all have, right? Okay, well, if you want one kid, then you're going to need to make enough for you, that one kid, and your wife. If your wife is not working, you need to make enough for her to account that she's not working, that you're one income. If she is working, guess what? She's accounting for some of it, and there's nothing wrong with that. It depends on the life that you want. So if you want 5 kids, guess what? You can't have 5 kids with no money.
What about food stamps in that one?
You know what I'm saying? So
Section 8, you know.
You know, that's a different topic.
You know what Section 8 is?
Yeah, that's a different topic, but
I try to apply for it.
That's a different topic. But if you want 5 kids, you need to make enough to survive, to sustain those 5 kids and a wife. right? If she says, hey, I want to stay home, and you say, okay, I want you to stay home. She can't just stay home if you can't make the money. It's just that simple. Like 1 + 1 = 2. We made our 360 now, right? I said at the beginning. So if the life that you want, the life that she wants, she has to have a man to do it, to make it happen. You have to be the man to do it. Unless you guys are fine with the 2 household income and have 5 kids that are at grandma's or at the babysitter, it's just what lifestyle that you want. And there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. You know, everybody's going to create their own lifestyle. Now, I believe there's different lifestyles that are going to be harder than others. To have a single household income, can you look up a stat on this? What's the chance of having a single household income in the United States in 2030? You know, to have a single household income is so freaking hard these days. And to have kids on top of that with 1 income. So it depends on what lifestyle that you want.
So from listening to what all that you said, you think traditional gender roles are still outdated, or is like relevant to our society now? And what I mean by not traditional gender roles, but like a traditional marriage, which is like a husband working, wife stays at home. You think it's outdated to our now society?
If I'm talking about a society, yes. I think that's gonna be gone. I truly believe that. It's so hard.
Especially in America.
In America. We're talking here in America, right?
Yeah.
Especially in America, right? Because just to have a house, $2,000, $2,500, $3,000. Apartment, $1,800 for a nice area. A decent area is $1,800, $1,700 just for the rent. Okay? Plus utilities, plus food. How many kids are you going to have? People are having less kids now because of the financial, right? That plays a part of it, right? So society is, I think, the gender roles of husband working, wife staying at home. This is obvious in our time now as we see it. And the generation before us, not even our generation, the generation before us, they have 2 incomes. Wife working, husband working, kids daycare, babysitter, grandma, grandpa, whoever it is. Okay? This generation before us. Now our generation, you see, and this is nothing wrong with this. This is just with the time that we live in. How many people you know that your girl works, right? You're working, she works. He works, his girl works. That's almost across the board now. Now the next generation is going to have it hard. They're both going to have to work. Unless that dude is sharp. Unless that dude is super sharp, they're both going to have to work. This is just a sad reality. This is a sad truth. Like, I hate to say it. This is a sad truth. Do I want that? No, I don't want that. I want old America. I want 1800s America. You know what I'm saying? Living on the farm. You know what I mean? That's what I want.
The traditional way, really.
Traditional way. You know, like husband working, wife and kids at home.
Yeah.
Working the farm. That's all I want. I wish that can be in today's time for everybody. I think we'll honestly have a better society that way. I do. Now, some of the women are not going to agree. They're going to say, I want to work. Okay, go work. But to answer your question, yeah, I think it's going to be super hard to have that. And the families have changed to it. You know, the family tradition has changed.
Said 30% by 2030 will only be able to have a household income, 1 household income.
So the stat, guys, by 2030 is maybe 30% of the population can sustain a 1 household income. That is crazy as hell.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's just a sad truth, and I hate it. It hurts to think about it.
You know what's crazy? That went from being the American dream to now that is like only the very privileged. Like, if you're able to live that lifestyle, like, you got to say, like, man, I'm privileged compared to the regular population.
Yeah.
And privileged in the sense, like, God has blessed me. I can be in this position.
Yeah. I agree, man. It's just, and this is my thing. We've talked about it on every podcast. And this is what I'm going to say, right? Is it goes back to the dream. Your dream as an 8-year-old, okay? And I'm not talking to women right now. It's nothing against women. I'm talking to men. This is your duty. Your duty is to go after that life that you created, that you dreamed of when you were 8-year-old. If you dreamed of having kids on a farm and a single household income, you better go work your butt off. If you dreamed of having a Lamborghini, go work your butt off. It's just simple. If your dream was you going to work, your wife going to work, you guys come home, you guys don't have no kids, and you go travel the world, go do it. Whatever that dream is for you, just go do it. And you do it by sharpening your sword. Simple. That's it. Simple, not easy. Okay? But this is your choice at the end of the day. And the truth is, the hardest truth I'm going to tell people, the saddest thing is this. As hard as you think it's going to be, so you know it's going to be hard. Right? You know it's going to be hard. Now, multiply that by 1,000. That's how hard it's going to be. This is just sad truth, and this is what I realized in life, guys. It's going to be so hard to achieve that dream and multiply it by 1,000. Just so you know up front. And if you don't believe me, go read it and listen to whoever you want. That's how hard it is to achieve that dream. Not goal, dream. Okay? People have a misunderstanding, a misconception, this fake drawing that we talked about in episode 42, the fake painting of the sunshine and rainbows. Okay? And they think, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to have, and that's what I'm going to achieve. I'm sorry to tell you, to burst your bubble. It's not that easy.
100%. I agree. I remember you said it. You're going to have to freaking kill yourself to get there. You said it's still achievable, but you're going to have to almost kill yourself.
Yeah.
In the sense that you worked that hard.
It's your choice. That's the sad thing, guys. And that honestly kind of ruins the day for some people. You know what I mean? But it's possible.
Amen.
It's possible. I'm telling you, it's possible. Any other question you want to ask before we...
We got last question. We got the most juiciest question of all.
Oh, this is the one we're going to end with.
We got should pineapple go on pizza?
Yes.
I say yes.
Nope. Y'all should quit jiu-jitsu. Y'all ain't sharpening your sword with that.
Have you tried it?
Yes, I tried it. I want to taste the pizza. Not
Next week,
damn
I'm getting a pineapple pizza. You're going to eat it with me. Next Friday.
Oh, bro.
Next Friday. I told you we're going to have a Friday. I'm going to get multiple pizzas, but I'm saying next Friday I told them I have a pizza party.
Every pineapple on a pizza I taste it, all I taste is a damn pineapple.
Just listen. Just try mine. Just try
Yours,
it.
what's yours so special about?
I have to add some other toppings. I'll show you how to do
You
it.
got other toppings?
You know?
I'm going to get the mo toppings.
To me, it's strange how you come from a tropical country, right? Well, your descendancy
What you trying
is
to say?
tropical. That you don't like pizza. I mean, you don't like pineapple on pizza.
I like pineapple. Don't get me wrong. I like pineapple, right? Just on pizza, my guy.
Bro, pineapple on pizza is the bomb.
Bro,
With some tomatoes.
it makes sense.
Pineapple and tomatoes.
But pineapple is so it's sour and sweet, and it's overbearing the taste of the pizza. So when you imagine the pizza and you just bite it, I don't want a piece of overwhelming of apple juice. All right, it makes sense if the pineapple was subtle, right? A little tap in my tongue, like it's here. That's what I want.
I said next week let's try it. I don't know if this pizza place.
I try one slice.
We're gonna see it. You try one slice and see.
You gotta get me a pepperoni too.
I'll get you a pepperoni.
It's haram. I forgot.
I'm not eating a pepperoni.
I would be fasting though, so.
Yeah, but at night we can. At night we're gonna eat pizza. But guys, let us know in the comments. Pineapple on the pizza or no pineapple on the pizza? Okay? Pineapple on the pizza, no pineapple on the pizza. Gio, the co-host, and myself say pineapple. Ben says no pineapple. I think it's good. I like pineapple, tomatoes, mushrooms, black olives. Dude, I make a crazy pizza. I like a crazy. I can't make a crazy pizza.
Dude, we should have a contest. All right, ain't gonna make a big full size, but a small size of let's see who make the best pizza.
You know how to make the dough?
Only YouTube video away.
Yeah, we could make a dough. It would be a fun segment.
All right, we'll try it. We'll try it. All right, guys. I hope you guys liked episode 44 of the Roundtable. Honestly, we had so many more questions, but Ben put us in a different pickle. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let us know what you think on this, on these topics. And let us know in the comments, what do you think? Pineapple on the pizza or no pineapple? All right? Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like always, sharpen your sword. Guys, a lot of these topics will depend on how sharp your sword is. Okay, the lifestyle, the last one that we talked about. The lifestyle that you want will be depending on how sharp your sword is. Okay? So sharpen your sword so you become better for yourself, for your family, for your community, and for your country. And I'll see you on the next episode of Sharpen Your Sword podcast. Peace out.